Hey, welcome to another Flaccid Phoenix live stream. Tonight we're doing something a little special in honor of Guardians of the Galaxy. But before we get into it, with me as always is Flaccid Gator, and our
Yo.
daddy Zax is here with us talking Game of Thrones. Something, you know what? In this little whatever community we have, not a lot of people know. I don't know. Feels like they either know Marvel or they know Game of Thrones or that kind of area. It doesn't seem like they know both of them all that well. But Zax, you're one of the few.
I'm one of the few, the proud, the brave, the nerds.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
We're going to combine these two things for you boys tonight.
Yeah. So, in honor of Guardians of the Galaxy 3 coming out this weekend, we thought, what if we just took the Guardians of the Galaxy cast and we put them into Westeros? Like, which characters they most line up with, personality-wise, maybe backstory, powers-wise. We're going to go through each one of those. Before we get into it, I just want to say hello to everyone in the chat. We have, is it Jaina? It's Jana, right?
I think it's Jana Catania.
Yeah, she just had her baby.
She
Yeah, thank you for being here, supporting us. We wish we could support you, but they don't let me around children anymore.
Yeah.
Sentient Dildo,
up,
Candeezy, Abomination AJ. Dude, Abomination AJ. He is pretty upset about no premature ejection stream tonight. So
We're doing a little rebranding, okay? That's what we're doing. This channel's moving back toward what we kind of built it on, which was, the fantasy stuff, the nerd stuff. Premature Ejection will have its new home on Fanarchy very soon, and that's where it'll be exclusively from now on. Hopefully.
the I Just Peed Mexican also here. Thank you for being here. I know you've watched House of Dragon at least 27 times, like you said to me.
Right.
A Common Idiot also here. Thank you for being here.
Hey,
Everyone,
Matt.
smash that like button. It's free. You can do it. You can do it multiple times if you want to.
Yeah. If you get charged, we don't know anything about it.
No.
All right. So like I said, Guardians of the Galaxy just came out, or is about to come out, excuse me. But let's go through each one of these. And I wish we could have done all of the AI art for this because you see Chris Pratt here. He looks awesome.
So good, dude. Looks
He
great.
looks awesome.
He does. He
Yes.
looks
And even if he
fantastic.
didn't look great, he fits in the role, obviously. But even if he didn't, just look at the quality of this art, man. AI is nuts. I don't care about these people scared of AI. AJ,
AJ.
screw off, dude. Come on. AI is the future. Embrace it.
Yeah.
I love you, AJ. Embrace it.
Yeah. Just be tender to it and it'll be tender back, right? That's what we've
Yeah.
learned from sci-fi.
Just don't upset it.
All right, let's go first with the main character basically in this franchise, StarLord. Now, we have 3 picks here. We can also choose maybe one that's not even on here as we go on, but each one of these characters will have at least 3 choices. So we picked Dario, Bronn, and Jorah. And the Jorah pick is basically because he's by the end of or at least present day
Yes.
what I'm
He's
trying
a
to think of his
simp.
name. Peter
He's a
Quill.
simp.
Yeah, he's a simp for Gamora. He's oh Gamora, I need you. I need. It's like, dude, chill out.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's a girl that kicks me in the balls like in Endgame or whatever. Like it's done. It's done. Okay. It's like you clearly don't know me. This isn't even the same version. How do you I would never do that. No way. He is a super simp. Dario is kind of in the same boat, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. But at least you guys went with the better looking Dario because there was
You shut your mouth. I swear to God. Talking about my boy, the Crimson Chin, dude.
Yeah, I am. This guy's the superior Dario. There's no question about it. Look at him.
Oh, okay.
Look at that jawline.
The beard is nice, but we have a nude scene of this Dario in Game of Thrones, man. He has no ass, and he's a twink. He's basically a twink. He's like been to the gym for 6 months. It's embarrassing. I want that chin.
I do want that chin. It's like one of those weird, like you got to do those massager things, right, against your chin to get it bigger. You know what I'm talking about? Those scams, whatever.
Things. Yes.
So which one of these 3 or any other do you guys think he most aligns with? Because I do think he's probably closer to a Dario or Bronn than he is Jorah, even though he does have some Jorah tendencies now in the later movies.
Yeah, what do you think, Zach?
I think he's more of a Dario because he's younger enough that he has a shot with the lady, so he could actually pull it off. Whereas Jorah is simping, and there's no goal line for him that he's going to reach. Like he's just simping out by himself in the wild. There's no shot, but Peter Quill has a shot. So like Dario, he has a shot.
Right.
And Dario, by the end of it, is a little bit of a simp for Danny, too. He's like, oh, you're not going to stay here? You're going to Westeros? She's like, yeah, haven't you been listening to me, like, every other second, me talking about how I'm going to reconquer the Seven Kingdoms? Like,
He has a little simp. He's like, I don't need the crown. I only want you, Daenerys. It's like, dude, you're an embarrassment, man. I think he's more Dario as well, because he does have a little bit of the brawn nature in him as well, like the little, like screw it, I don't care attitude. He'll cut off the heads of his soldiers just for no reason. And I'm not saying Peter Quill would necessarily do that, but when we see him introduced into the MCU, he's kind of a bad boy or whatever. He's an outlaw, right? So I think it's Dario as well. Yeah. And let us know in the chat, by the way, what you guys think, if you know who we're talking about.
Yeah.
I hope you do.
Okay, so for Gamora here, the big three women that most align with her was probably the Arya, and then her name is
Ygritte.
Ygritte.
You know nothing.
Yeah. And then Our Lady, Brienne of Tarth.
Brienne.
Which one do you guys think? Because I do think it's probably the Ygritte goes for it, even though she does have definitely a little bit of Arya in her. I think because if she didn't warm up to Peter Quill, StarLord, I think she would be way more Arya than she is Ygritte. But for that, I think Ygritte's the choice.
Dude, I totally think Ygritte, 100%. I think Arya has too much rebellious nature in her or whatever. And I also think at the same time, Arya is kind of more flexible and willing to adapt to a new way of living or new personality type. I think Ygritte's more of a bitch, just straight up bitch, and I think Gamora is too. So I think that's a better pick. Brienne of Tarth, I mean, she's a strong woman or whatever, but I don't think that she really fits Gamora that well. But I would smash Brienne and Ygritte and not Arya. And also Gamora. So I think Arya's the oddball out.
It's got to be Ygritte because she dies.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Alert.
And then she's brought back by the White Walker, aka the snapper from whatever.
Yeah, who cares?
Oh, she's saying Candice's saying Rose. I was confused, like Rose. What the hell are you talking about? But she's saying that's the actress's real name
for Ygritte.
Yeah, Ygritte. A lot of people are saying Ygritte here. So, awesome one. Copa both arrived here, and hail the lore. Go ahead, smash the like button, guys, please and thank you.
Smash it.
Share out the link. Everyone shares out the link, right?
Share the link.
Yeah, that's what I do.
In fact, we're not doing anything until you share the link out.
Yeah, we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait. We can see it on our.
Could you imagine a boycott? Be hilarious.
Can't leave. We're not talking.
All right, so for Drax here, I have Great John Umber, who gets his fingers cut off or gets him bit off by Robb Stark's wolf?
Yes.
Which is his reaction is just sums up his whole character.
I mean, you can see it right here. It's perfect.
Yeah. Then you have Tormund and Oberyn Martell, and the Oberyn Martell thing here is mostly because of the vengeance of his dead family, right?
Yeah, 100%. I think that's the only way this really fits. That's why I put that in the list. I literally had to put in parentheses because of his vengeance against his dead family, because otherwise he is not related whatsoever. I think one of your picks was Tormund. I think you nailed it. I think he's definitely Tormund. He has the funny kind of quirky nature. He does crazy eye stuff. I think it's the perfect calm but super aggressive. I think it fits Drax really well. I don't know if it had to be somebody, right? Zax, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm with Tormund too. He's got that sort of comic relief thing to him, but he's also, you can count on him in battle. And the Red Viper and Peter Pascal, I'm just kind of over him completely.
Oh, yeah.
So overrated, dude. Him and Giancarlo Esposito, just literally, you're 100% right too about the berserker. You could depend on him on the battlefield, and they're both kind of the same way. Show me what strategy they have, man. They're just throwing haymakers and getting lucky every time, but they're also strong as balls, so it works.
And can we talk about Pedro Pascal and how much he's cringe?
No. Yeah, we can.
Well,
we can talk
real
about
quick.
Him,
He's in talks of joining Gladiator 2, the movie everyone's been crying.
No, he's not.
See.
Come on.
Yeah, he is real. Yeah, he's in talks to be joining that cast. So
Whatever,
I was just thinking this movie is missing something. It's missing the guy that's in everything.
So for that movie, they're going to put a helmet on his character, and he's not going to be there.
He'll be there for one sequence, and then he won't be there the rest of the time. But he'll still get paid as if he was there the whole time.
Yep.
Yeah, the chat seems like they pretty much agree with a Tormund here. Yeah, I think so too.
All right, so then for Rocket, okay, so the Euron is the most obvious here a little bit.
Yeah,
he's not as evil as
he
Euron.
looks like a raccoon.
Yeah, because he looks like a raccoon.
That's it.
And he's a little trash guy. He's in the trash. And then you have Arya, okay, small, feisty. But then we picked Theon because I think in this next movie we're being alluded to of the butchering of Rocket and what he had to go through with was the High Evolutionary is supposed to give him his origin.
Well, and that's exactly what I was going to say too. Like both Rocket and Theon, neither one of them have human balls or dick. So I mean, I think that seals the deal for me. But Don, boy, what about Tyrion? He's so small, isn't he like Rocket?
Oh,
both so small. No.
Arya for dildo. Okay. I can see that.
I mean, yeah, it's whatever. I think all three of these fit the bill quite a bit. Theon's like a little bit too passive to fit, whatever. But the dick and balls, I think, it wins it over for me.
Is Rocket a Mary Sue?
I think no, because he struggles. He has had struggle in his life.
Yeah, I don't know if he's a Mary Sue because I'm really trying to think of. Well, he has had struggles in his life. It's all off screen. But like in an ensemble like that, most of the struggle, I guess, is happening with them just like working together, right? Versus actual personal.
Yeah, because I can't think of anything he really accomplished.
Something to overcome
either, right?
Like he
hasn't
didn't kill
done
Thanos,
anything.
so that's true.
Yeah, exactly. Confirmed, not
True.
Mary Sue.
All right. Well, the last member. Well, we still got a lot more to go, but just like the last member of the core 5 of the Guardians of the Galaxy, we have Groot, and the most obvious pick, Hodor. But then we have 1-1, right? Is that how you pronounce it? Right, 1-1.
Yeah, it's 1-1.
The giant beyond the wall, and then we have Blood Raven, 3-eyed Raven here.
Yeah, the explanation is just so stupid. It's just because he grows into a tree, right?
He's obsessed. Okay, listen, he can touch the like weirwood, whatever network of trees without being entangled with them. He's like a tree fetish, I think.
He's a tree
at
guy.
this point.
He's a real tree guy. He's wood. He has wood. It's rock hard. Well, no, it's wood hard wood, right? I think. Well, Zach, what do you think? What's the best of these three, or somebody of your own choice?
If I'm going to go off the word, I'm going to go with Copa Catania in our chat because he likes to say yo, and Groot says I'm Groot, and so he has the one thing he says yo, and also we know he can get wood because he's got a kid, so that's 2.
I don't think that's necessarily true. You can ejaculate with a flaccid penis.
Oh, really?
I think.
Tell us.
I'm searching right now, and I'll pull up a video if this is possible.
Find the video. Find the reaction to the video, so we don't have to get demonetized.
It's got to be Hodor, though. Really, if we're going on these guys, it's 100% Hodor. They're kind of the same.
Right,
Hodor
they are
is hung like a horse.
They have a very wide. They have the same. I shouldn't say wide. They have the same range of vocabulary, also with Groot and Hodor, right?
And they both have the one thing they have to do: hold the door. Spoiler alert! And then he's got to go blow himself up. So they have their goals.
That's 100% true. Does 1-1? Does he say anything? Because you say that about like Groot and Hodor having the same vocabulary capacity, and I thought, well, 1-1 maybe too, but I think 1-1 might have even less. Does he say anything?
I don't think he does. No.
No. I think he just growls.
He says chomp maybe when he eats that chick.
Embarrassing, dude.
Oh.
Who's also cringe because she's with Pedro Pascal, Bella Ramsey.
Yeah, well, we got I think a few of those later coming up here. So if you just joined us, please smash that like button. Oh yes, Shieldwall Dragon, thank you for being here. Smash that like button. What's up?
I like what you did there though with the one-eyed crow and the wood and the tree. Like that's well played.
I think it was Gator that put the 3-eyed
that was
Raven
my
there.
pick. Thanks a lot, Zach. So I'll accept that as if it was directed toward
The wood fetish, yeah, definitely.
I'm a wood guy.
Here. So, what about Yondu? Now we're using some of these because they're like because a lot of these characters are very similar. They're kind of scoundrels in the Guardians of the Galaxy. So we have Braun, we have Tormund, and then we have the King Beyond the Wall. Mance Raider.
Dude, Mance Raider. This is another one. See, this is hard. Hold on, sorry. What did we end up picking for Peter Quill? Did we pick Dario?
We picked Dario, yeah.
Okay. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Yeah, but like what I think of Mance too is Mance has like kind of a fatherly like part about him that what's not Jorah Mormont? What's his dad's name?
Yeah, I know the older Mormont.
Yeah, Lord Commander Mormont. They both have fatherly figure aspects to them, especially when it comes to Jon. So that's why Mance Raider I think is a good option for Yondu because he definitely has that kind of grooming him in the most non-sexual way or sexual way possible. I think it's beyond kind of go Mance, but I think it's still Braun basically. Right?
I have to go Braun. He's the likable scoundrel with a heart of not gold but
brass.
Yeah,
looks like gold when you get close enough. You realize it's worthless. But yeah, I think Braun as well. Mance Raider, it's a great pick, but he's just not quite like a wild card enough. You know what I mean? He's kind of too true to his values. And Tormund, I think he's too much of a wild card. Like, there's really nothing to him. He's not a very dimensional character. But Braun, yeah, I think Braun is actually perfect for this pick. I don't remember if we put Braun for any list or options after
Any other
this,
ones?
but yeah, I don't remember.
Sure.
But I'm gonna try as we're going through this. I'm gonna try not to pick the same character for multiple Guardians, but we'll see.
Right.
Lots of Mance love in the chat.
Mance was awesome.
He was a great character, man.
Yeah.
In the books, might still be alive. Is that true?
Yeah. He was done dirty on the show, kind of, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
They had a great choice of actor here. This guy's in Rome, isn't he? And he also does the voice of Steppenwolf in the Justice League movies, the Zack Snyder ones, whatever. So, all right. Well, the next one up, let's go with Nebula. So we have the just right. Yeah, there you go. Your random. It's Obra, whatever, sand, one of those sand snakes, right? Then we have Yara Greyjoy, also known as Aisha from the books. And then you have Lyanna Mormont, right? Lyanna Mormont.
Yeah, it sucks, like so many. I don't know what it like, even by association now, not even so. I was going to say by association with Pedro Pascal, I don't really like what's her name, Bella Ramsey or whatever anymore. But it's not quite that. It's even her character in The Last of Us. I was not a fan of The Last of Us at all. Now, looking back on, I didn't even finish the season. I don't know how you felt about it, Zach. I know we talked about it, but I don't really remember. I can't even consider. I like Nebula actually quite a bit, and I don't like Bella Ramsey's character. I'm not a huge fan of Yara, and I absolutely hate the Sand Snakes. But I do think the Sand Snakes are probably the closest thing to Nebula, to be honest with you.
I would go with Asha / Yara, right, in the show.
Yeah. Yep.
I think just because they're both semi-likable characters. Like, I don't dislike either of them. I can't, like, Bella Ramsey, this is her acting range is what we're seeing right there in that still shot. That's it.
Yeah,
true that.
And people have loved The Last of Us, and I wanted to like it, and it wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen, but the amount of love it got from other people and the types of people who were defending it, who were so quick to take down other things for the same reasons, but just love this show unabashedly, turned me off of it for some reason, which, I mean, isn't really the show's fault, but yeah, it's just, there's problems with the show and her. She was the worst part of that show. Her casting was awful. And Pedro Pascal is cringe, and she's still worse.
True. 100%.
Yeah, and I don't think she's really growing nicely out of this childish form, too. She looks like one of those pumpkins that you put into one of those cases, and they somehow are just like growing in a weird shape. You know what I'm talking about? You ever seen those on like YouTube?
Yeah.
That's what it kind of looks like.
And if we're talking foreheads, they kind of have
6 head.
She matches the forehead.
I have the 6 head. Okay, let's not get too ridiculous. She hasn't quite ascended to my level yet, but dude, she's bad. She's bad. Zach's articulated it perfectly. Pedro Pascal's cringe, and she's worse. Hey, what up, AJ? I feel like you were here earlier, and now you're just showing up for the first time. We already made fun of you, and you weren't even here.
Hey, Sentient Dildo says all these choices suck. Listen, I think the one without the clear choice here is Yara, aka Aisha Greyjoy.
So, really?
I think that's her for sure because she's masculine. She's kind of being put down by her father to a degree, even though the father chooses him or chooses her over Theon. But yeah, I think it's Aisha.
Did Yara get fingered by a sibling? Because I guarantee you the Sand Snakes did.
Oh, well, I think Nebula got fingered by her dad when she was investigating him in Endgame, right? It was like,
oh yeah, dude, giant purple finger, man. Yikes. Dude. Sorry, Nebula.
All right. So what are we choosing here? Yara?
Yeah, whatever. I got outnumbered, so yeah, Yara's cool.
Okay. So Mantis here. We have a lot of assistants, or two of the assistants, I guess. You have Missandei, which is the assistant to
Daenerys.
What's her name? Daenerys, man. I'm a little slow right now, I feel like. And then you have
the names that listen,
right, the Gilly, right? And I think it's just mostly the intelligence factor here with
100%.
With Gilly. And then Bran, it's mostly his powers, right? His ability to and his kind of distance personality wise, but
and he's kind of useless too, just like Mantis.
I feel like if Missandei and Bran could fuse, that'd be perfect. Perfect for Mantis.
Yeah, I think so too. It sucks because Bran's nothing really like her at all except for the powers, but I feel like he kind of is the choice at the same time. Like, I don't know. Missandei kind of fits the role more so because like what Mantis is in the Guardians of the Galaxy, and I think Missandei is kind of that too. Like she's almost there for exposition to explain things when it needs to be explained, or maybe like a translator or whatever. You know what? I'm talking myself into Missandei. I'm going with Missandei. Gilly's just an idiot. That's the only reason why she's in here. Like retards unite, sure, but I don't think she's the best pick.
Well, it can't be Bran because Bran has the best story. Remember? So we know
True.
he doesn't have the best
That's
story.
true.
Yeah, that's 100% fact check. True.
And hello, Squeakamouse, and I'm gonna have to go with my Sunday.
That's who you're choosing.
Oh, Missandei. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Man,
Missandei.
my brain just lapsed
No
there. Holy
Sunday.
shit.
Unless we have Bella Ramsey as an option because the look is very similar.
Yeah. Well, and I like Sentient Dodo saying here, Gilly, both are useless.
True.
I mean, she's very limited range of usability here for Mantis. So what are we doing? Is it Missandei?
I'm going with Missandei. I don't know about you guys. You
Yeah.
can totally outnumber me if you want to. And remember, everybody in the chat, like I think Sentient said in the last one, all these choices suck. Dude,
Missandei.
tell us your choice, man. Because
Yeah, in the
make up a
chat.
fourth one. We couldn't think of a lot of characters for these things. We ended up reusing a lot of them. I looked at a list of, I think it was like top 150 Game of Thrones characters, and some of them were such minuscule characters I couldn't even remember what they were like, so I couldn't use them.
I know.
But if you do, put them in, baby.
And if you guys need a filler idea for a stream, we could have a forehead stream where we just look at actors' foreheads and match them up together.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. Forehead tier ranking.
That's right.
All right. Well, the next one up here is the Collector. So my reasoning or my thought process here is he's kind of like a worm, right? It's a little Walder Frey-esque in some of the things he does.
Yeah, you
with
picked all three of these,
Varys,
right?
Yeah, with
I think these are all
Varys.
yours. Okay.
With Varys, you know, he does have like some sort of secret network of knowledge with some other people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he also has a person locked up in his his quarters, right?
Yep.
Varys does, right? He's that weird old man that like cut off his nuts back in the day,
Yeah.
and he's like, yeah, just keep him down here, kind of like the Collector. And then this guy on the right here, who is the guy that sells those copper sleeves on telemarket commercials. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, those little like align your aura shit.
Yeah,
Right?
That's what he looks like.
Magnetism is perfect now. Yeah.
Yeah, his name's like Kanzia Mo Kalaz, whatever. He's the guy that gets the Unsullied,
whatever.
right? And I don't know why he kind of reminds me of him as well a little bit. Kind of gets trying to make some deals going on and eventually gets burned by it. So those are my three.
Varys. I think it's the Varys pick because I couldn't think of any of these. That's why I didn't add anything to these three at all. I think Varys is a great pick based on what you said. I totally forgot he had that one, ball lover, ball chopper, or whatever locked up in his sex dungeon. I think Varys is definitely perfect for it. The network of informants is great too. The Collector's informed and has spies all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
That's how he amassed his massive, what do you want to call it? Like empire. Yeah, I think Varys is perfect.
How does a Collector, does he get inexplicably stupid at the very end?
Yes.
Then he's Varys.
True.
There you go.
He doesn't die though, but whatever.
Someone just joined the chat right now. The IJP American.
Oh,
Red, white.
Oh.
It's too bad there's a green background.
colors
It's a very
nice.
unappealing color scheme as a logo.
Yeah, why
But I
they-
do appreciate the red, white, and blue.
I think I like this guy a little bit more than the other one. I don't know. Can't
Instantly.
explain it.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know what
All
it
right.
is.
So for Ronan the Accuser, our three options here. Balon Greyjoy, father of Theon, ruler of the Iron Islands, who attempts to try to overthrow one of the five kings in the Five King War. We also have Varys the Third on the far right, and then Alistair Thorne, commander of the Night's Watch for a short period of time. But my thought is like, who's the most like forgetful villain? Kind of like Ronan, and I think you have to go with either Varys or Balon, but I feel like he has some authoritative nature like Alistair. That's why I throw him in there.
He does, and I think the only one that doesn't really fit is Balon, just because he's forgettable for sure. But when I see Ronan, I see a guy who really thinks he's in charge and wants to be in charge, but really he's someone even more powerful's bitch. That being Thanos. So I think that it's between one of these two on the right, and I think, my opinion, Varys 3. I think he thinks he's in charge a little bit too much because Ronan knows he's a bitch to Thanos. You know what I mean? He's not going to talk to him. But Varys kind of thought he was above Khal Drogo, and it got him killed. Whereas whatever this Night Watch dude's name is, I don't remember what his name is. He looks like a Catholic priest to me. What's his name?
Alistair
Yeah,
Thorpe.
Alistair. Right. I think he always knows he's below the Lord Commander. Like, he's not going to try to usurp the Lord Commander unless it's Jon Snow, right? So I think it might be him. Plus, I hate both Ronan and Alistair. So
I'm gonna go with, I would go with Viserys only because, like what you said, he thinks he's in charge, and they shoot him in some scenes like he's in charge, like you're supposed to be impressed by him somehow,
Right.
and then he dies, ingloriously. So, spoiler alert.
I'm trying to think of each one of these guys are killed, right? Balon is pushed off a bridge on a windy night. Alistair's actually hung, and then Viserys actually gets some gold poured on his head.
Right.
How do any of those line up potentially with somebody doing a dance off at the end of the movie? I'm trying to think of who's.
I mean,
you
dance on a bridge, you fall off a bridge. I don't know.
That's what I'm thinking. So I'm thinking Balon for me because he's pathetic, especially because they kind of built him up as somewhat of a guy. He's supposed to be a ruler of a part of like the kingdom, right?
Well, dude, I thought that Balon was actually cool in the show. They had Balon come in. He was actually kind of authoritative. He told Theon, like, "You're my little bitch." And Yara is actually pretty competent in Game of Thrones, and she was totally subservient to Balon as well. He kind of came off grumpy or whatever, but who cares? But then Euron, this is where the issue was. Euron came, and those of us who looked up book spoilers or read the books, we were super looking forward to Euron. Like, he is a Chad, right? A Giga Chad. So when he kills Balon, it's like, all right, this dude's fucking here. But then come down the line, season 6, 7, 8, Euron is a simp. He's a simp and he's weak as shit.
Yeah,
so it just made Balon look weak in hindsight. So I think I see your point. I definitely see your point.
But those final seasons, they kind of really, like, everyone sucked. I can't think who didn't. I can't think of anyone who didn't suck. At the end.
The Hound, I guess, but his conclusion sucked. But the Hound was good throughout the end. I don't know. I'm still going Alistair, but I hear your pathetic Balon pick. All right, I hear it.
Remember when Balon unwrapped his son's package? That was a good scene.
Yeah, it's like my animated wallpaper I have on my phone.
Oh, dude, live wallpaper is underrated.
Yeah, just like a constant GIF of him.
20 times faster, but worth it.
Yeah, I agree. Pay at the pump. The entire final season did suck.
Hot take, pay at the pump.
What does Sentient Dildo say here?
Said, bro, book Euron is incredible. Show Euron is one of the worst characters ever. Yeah, dude, it is crazy. I'm actually super pumped to see what happens in Winds of Winter with Euron because, like, dude, this guy he's stacked. He is fully armored up. Yeah, I love.
Well,
okay, I got a question for you off the board here for a second. Who is worse in the final season, Jaime or Euron?
Really difficult.
Jaime, because I had so much more hype. He had like such a great arc, and it came crashing down with Jaime. Euron, we barely got that much time with him, and then he kind of just floundered out, right? And I don't know, he didn't have all of the swag that we probably wanted him to have, and also like the crazy. Wasn't he always like drinking nightshade too? Like he's like purple on his lips constantly.
He's supposed to. Yeah, you know what it is, Jaime.
And does he have an eye patch too, or who am I thinking?
Jaime.
I think he's supposed to have an eye patch, but in the books or whatever, he has like long black hair and he cut the tongues out of all of his people and he has like painted his ship with blood and all of this stuff. Has a full suit of Valyrian steel armor, all that stuff. They just left it out of the show, so I was kind of disappointed with that from the get-go. So yeah, dude, it's definitely Jaime. We grew to love Jaime. He was like a character we hated and then we loved, and then he just fizzled out and became a simp, which is just the worst. Simp to your sister, dude.
They ran into each other in that cave. Their big meetup finally happened, and it was super lame. And then Jaime goes back in and gets caved in on.
Yeah, no shit. It was
what an art.
He enters 2 caves.
He does enter 2 caves.
What do you think is the worst?
And us.
Oh no.
I was just gonna say my favorite character is the one hooker in Littlefinger's broth with protein on her face. Underrated. Not my favorite. Underrated.
Who do you think had the worst arc? Zax between Jaime and Euron.
Jaime.
Oh yeah.
Because Euron, that was all based on sort of book hype, and in the show he never really got to that level, and so his arc was kind of flat to begin with. He was simping very early on, and Jaime seemed to be busting loose of his simping ways, and then straight back to simping, and then died outside of combat. Yeah.
I mean, it didn't even seem like Jamie was a simp from the beginning. That's the part that sucks when he was
No,
just like
you're right.
fucking his sister, and he pushed the the things I do for love, and then pushes that kid out. He just kind of seemed like an asshole. It didn't
Yep.
seem like he was bending over
Mhm.
backwards doing things he didn't want to do for his sister. But by the end, that's what it became. So you should never be cucked by your I don't even know. He was being cucked by Euron, I guess. Did Euron actually sleep with Cersei? I think he did, right?
Yeah, that's such a weird thing, and he was holding her stomach at one point, right? And it made it feel like, unless he doesn't know how babies are created, he's like,
He might be confused.
we kissed really long last night. I think we're having a baby.
That's how it works, right, Zach? You're the only one that would know of the three.
That's it. You just kiss for long enough, and all of a sudden there's a baby in there, and don't mind the guy who's leaving your bedroom.
Damn, I think I got my dad pregnant.
It's really than you guys think.
Victarion Greyjoy, Euron and Balon's brother. I wish he was in the series too. He's like he would have been a good pick for Drax as well. He's like kind of a slow-witted guy, and he's like he makes no sense. He's full-plated armor, and he's like a sailor. Like he's just gonna sink as soon as he gets in the water.
Yeah,
Victarion, is he the one? Not to get too much into this, but it's not a spoiler for the show because these characters are dead and the concepts are dead or whatever. But Victarion, is he the one that was like trying to go over and win the affection of Daenerys in Meereen? Is that him?
No, that's
sure.
Wait, no, I thought it was you're talking about the Martell guy. I thought there was another Martell, a son of Martell.
Well, there's also that, but I'm pretty sure one of the Greyjoys was going over to play, to try to get Daenerys to marry him, and then come back with maybe the Golden Company. No, the Golden Company is the other possible. What's his name? Aegon Targaryen. Jesus, man, the books are so much more complicated. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah, young Griff, exactly.
I want there to be a animated series so badly, so they can put all this in there. I think it'd be great.
That would be brilliant. That's the way to do it anyway. Really, that's how you tell this story. It's animated.
Do it like Castlevania, man. It worked out so well. Book Euron is a force of nature compared to his bitch-ass show version. 100% true. It's super cool. Just if you don't want to read the books and you've seen any of Game of Thrones, just go and watch anybody's little 30-minute, video essay about Euron from the books. It'll dude, you'll be hype on this guy.
Joseph Judge just came in, dropping knowledge. It was Meryn Martell.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and that's one of the prophecies that I think one of that Dothraki witch says, right? Like the sun will set in the east, and that's what that meant, was that the Martell sun will come from the west, come from the west, go to the east, and die there. So that's what the prophecy was referring to. One of the many that she spoke of, I think. Okay, well, let's get back to this list here. We took a little tangent there, but
yeah, sorry.
Next one up, Taserface, everyone's favorite villain within the Guardians of the Galaxy universe. Joffrey, Tormund, Ramsay. I don't know. Taserface sucks. That's
we're kind of throwing shit at the wall for this.
Yeah,
and I don't think he's Tormund, but he's probably Ramsay, I guess. I don't think he has the I feel like maybe it's Joffrey, because Joffrey doesn't feel like he has that big of a plan. Right? As much as you don't like Ramsay, it feels like he has a bigger plan going on.
He has a plan. His plan is kind of working for him, really. They lost that battle, but spoiler alert. And they almost won it. They had it won, essentially.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think this is the part with Taserface. Like, he's kind of a dick, I guess, but first of all, he sucks balls. Like, no one gives a shit about this character. He's not even funny. Like, this is a huge misstep to even include this in any movie. But he's not really that torturous like Joffrey or Ramsay. So I don't know. I kind of got to go with Tormund by default, I think. I don't want to do my boy Tormund like that, but yeah, maybe. Like, okay, let us know in the chat too. For anybody that saw Guardians 2, did anybody, or was that the movie he was in, Guardians 2?
Yeah. Yep, it was Guardians 2.
Did anybody think this was funny? Did anybody think Taserface was funny? Please say no. Please say no.
I don't remember him at all, to be honest.
I take that as not funny then.
No.
Yeah, and if you do like it, you can just unsubscribe real quick and then just never come back.
That's also free, just like hitting the like button and ringing the bell on your way out.
I am stealing Candice Marie's answer because I think she's right. He does look like Joffrey when Joffrey dies. So I'll go Joffrey.
True. Yeah, he has the purple face. Yep.
Yeah.
With the veins. Yes. Candice.
Damn, that good call.
Perfect. Man. Yeah, it's Joffrey. Joffrey is the pick. All right. Next one up here, we have Ego. Ooh. Now, we have Randall Tarley, which, he has a very loving way of dealing with his sons that he doesn't like or children, similar to Ego does in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Also, you have Craster, the daughter lover beyond the wall, Gilly's dad. That's Gator's pick, and then you have Robert Baratheon. He has bastards everywhere, it's similar to Ego having all those. Every time I say Ego, I want to think of Left Eye Ego too. Now that's the only thing I can think of. So
I appreciate you. I appreciate you narrowing my pick down to the incest only, not Robert Baratheon, the other one that I picked. But we're good. We're good. I identify more with the incest boy. I think that I think that they both have a lot of incest kids. They're not incest kids, but bastards. Him and Robert Baratheon. But I think Robert's too noble of a guy at the end of the day. I think he actually wants to do the right thing. I don't think Ego gives a shit. So I'm going with incest boy. A little more malicious.
I'm gonna go with Robert Baratheon just based on that beard.
Based on the beard?
So? Beard alone?
Beard alone. And they have a similar attitude. Robert doesn't care about all those kids. He's left all over the place. Like they're just kind of whatever. He doesn't even know that they're there. And when he dies, he definitely didn't care about them then. Not that he, could have saved them.
Right. But, see, this is my only thing about that. I think that the kids, like the not giving a shit about your bastard kids, I totally hear that about both of these guys with Ego, but there's a grand plan involved with Ego relating to one of these bastard kids or any of them, like whichever one ends up, rising to the occasion. And the same is true with the incest guy, because, he's giving these kids and feeding them to the White Walkers. And I don't know what he really hopes to gain out of it. If it really is just...
It's such a beta move, though. That's not an Ego
What
move.
is a beta move?
Like, I'm just going to have all these boys. I'm not just going to give my boys away to the White Walkers. That's not what Ego's doing. Ego's making his children around so that way he can... harness more power. He's getting more power with his children.
I'm coping, okay? I really don't want to believe that my boy in the middle here
Craster
getting his nuts off to his daughters every day for no reason, okay, other than the fact he wants to. I'm really trying not to accept that reality. It's a grand plan, trust me. We just haven't seen it yet. When's a winter? You're going to see.
What's the chat say?
I do feel like we have a heavy incest chat, to be honest with you. So I think we're gonna get Craster. But I don't know. I think I go with Robert as well with Zaxxas, just because I don't think Ego's a beta. And if he was a beta, I definitely would pick Craster. Here we go.
Thank you, sentient. What do you mean? But he's not even nobility. See, thank you, oh man.
So we're getting a little incest in the chat here, but let's move on to the next one here. We have who's his name? It's Sean Gunn. His name is it's like Kraglin.
Yeah, it's like Kragler or Kraglin, something like that. Dude, this guy in the middle looks like him.
He does look like him.
I know. So Oral, the guy that's beyond the wall, he's a wildling. He's a green seer. He has like some powers. He has a very similar role within the group as Oral does too, is he's just kind of like a backup guy. Then you have Edmure Tully on the left, and then finally Sam Tarly on the right. Gator, you pick Sam Tarly here. Defend this pick here.
Oh.
I think Sam Tarly because he's just a beta. He's a beta with like a heart of gold, and that really is. That's what this guy is. I think that's all. The skinny fat thing, obviously it's whatever, but they're both kind of useless at the same time. This guy on the left, what's his name again? Kraglin or whatever. It's Marvel, right? So they can give anybody a little confidence boost and suddenly they can rise to the occasion. But in reality, he needed the little fin thing on top of his head like Yondu has. And I mean, I don't know what the equivalent would be with Sam Tarly, like maybe a Valyrian steel blade or whatever, which he does get and ends up defeating a White Walker. So I think that's really the extent of it. They're both betas. They both can rise to the occasion. They have a heart of gold. The only difference would be I think Kraglin is like a total fucking idiot, whereas Sam Tarly is super, super smart. So maybe not the best pick, but I think it fits.
I don't know. I can't go with Sam Tarly.
Getting a lot of Tully in the chat here.
Is he a beta?
Who's that?
He kind of is. He's kind of a beta, Well, he's just like, I took the mill for you, my cousin or my nephew. He talks to Rob. He's like, dude, are you fucking serious? You took the mill? What the hell were you doing?
That's true. It's pathetic.
Remember that?
He's a beta to Rob. but I don't think
Yeah.
he's a beta in general.
Well,
I don't
remember
know.
when he's shooting this arrow to like for his father's funeral? He couldn't hit it once. I mean,
He's
Oh,
pathetic.
yeah. So
true.
I think I'm voting Edmure. I think I want Edmure as his. Here.
Yeah,
And then also,
you sold
real
me.
quick, Joseph Dredd from the last point here. Randall Tarley's a base dad in a dog eat dog world, like a milk-bone underwear.
Yeah,
Or
dog
with
eat
milk
dog, man. They go straight for the underwear, straight for the crotch. Chew up those milk bones, baby.
So we sold you. It's Edmure for you.
I think so. Yep.
Gotcha. there,
Whatever,
Gator.
whatever. I don't give a
Guy,
shit.
AJ says guy in the middle.
Thanks, AJ.
All right. So for the next choices here, we have High Evolutionary, which we're going to be seeing in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Okay, so we have, which I think is the for sure pick here, is Qyburn, the experimental maester that got kicked out. And then we
Yeah,
have the
no
High
question.
Sparrow, and then what is it?
Starts with the P.
Pete Pre, whatever, the guy from
Yeah.
Quarf, whatever, some far
Qarth.
place in. Oh,
Yeah.
in
It's
Essex.
like a super rich, like isolated city in the middle of nowhere. It's all, and for some reason, this guy is like trying to manipulate Daenerys. Well, there's another guy trying to do it too. But hey, real quick before I even give my answer, which I already gave, I guess, to this High Evolutionary looks like absolute dog shit. Like,
Yeah.
this is actually his comic character has a pretty cool design. I can't believe they went with this. Like, AJ, I know you're listening, man. Tell me you
Yeah.
agree, because he looks like absolute shit.
Did you ask AJ because he's black?
I did ask AJ because he's
Okay.
black. Yeah.
Just checking.
Yeah.
So AJ, yeah, can we like this guy or what's the deal?
Are we allowed or not? I'm preemptively hating because I'm assuming that's what you're going to tell me to do. But if you tell me he's good, then I'll immediately change my.
I'm hating the idea of his face looking kind of like the sides of it look like a bottle cap here. You see that? Like I was kind of like wrinkly on the side there. It's like he just has it. Just got
In amateur hour, you would think that maybe that's like a skin thing pulled over his face, but no, you're right. It's hard and metallic. It's a bottle cap face for sure.
What is that? Like, what is that supposed to be? Like, you guys have seen the character in the comics. What is that? I have no idea.
Dude, in the comics, he has like a metal face. So, or it's like a metallic. I don't know if it's actually made of metal or if it's soft, but it's like silver and red. So I don't know what that's supposed to be. This looks, dude, I'll show you afterward. This looks absolutely nothing like the High Evolutionary. It's nuts.
It's distracting, is what it is.
Yeah,
It looks like he had the worst facelift.
it's a little racist.
the worst or the best?
Bit of both. He got the Joan Rivers treatment, so it was a great facelift, but he died as a result.
Mm.
Too
Happens
soon.
to the best of us and the worst of us.
I choose Qyburn. I think it's the obvious choice. Here.
Yes,
Even
I
though
think
you get a little bit of some High Sparrow in him, but it's Qyburn all the
Yeah,
way.
it's clearly Qyburn.
But Joseph Dredd, yes, Blackfish is much greater than Edmure for sure. But
Oh,
RoboCop,
dude, yeah.
Black RoboCop, yeah, Judge, yep.
He
Black
just kind of
RoboCop.
like Black RoboCop.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
try-
dude, yes, the Blackfish, underutilized man in the show.
I was trying to figure out a place to put him in this here, but there's no place. There's no one like the only person who'd be like it is like Sylvester Stallone's character. We
Yeah,
could
but
see
even that,
in-
that'd be a waste, dude.
but that's the closest one you get to.
Right?
Zax, can you think of anyone that the Blackfish could be in the Guardians of the Galaxy universe?
The Blackfish. Not really. No, like we don't have
Yeah.
that.
And if you even if you did put the Blackfish somewhere, you'd kind of have to put Tywin in the same category, I think, because they're pretty damn similar, at least in the show they are.
Wow.
And I feel like Tywin would just kind of come off as the winner no matter what. Because I don't think he's necessarily more alpha male. He's just more successful by circumstance. But you know what I mean? They're very similar.
Mhm.
Mm.
And there's not that experienced leader in the Guardians. It's Peter Quill, right?
Yeah, the maybe the person that would fit the Blackfish would be, and it'd be such a minor character, was the guy that does Darth Maul's voice, but he's in the first one. He's like, they're a bunch of assholes. You know what I'm talking about? Like one of the
Who is this?
not the Nova Corps guy. Don't you remember the guy in the first Guardians of the Galaxy? He catches them, and he's part of the Nova whatever squad or whatever they're called.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know who you're
I
talking
can't
about.
think
yeah.
of John C. Riley.
No, it's the other guy. Here, I'll look it up real quick when we go to the next one here. So,
Okay, yeah.
For Adam
Oh,
Warlock,
God.
Jon Snow, Dickon, Rob Stark. What's that reaction for here?
He looks terrible. What is that?
That's Adam Warlock,
Warlock.
apparently.
Jaundice.
You know what's sad?
He has
That's what
liver
his-
failure.
That's what his face actually looks like.
Listen, I've seen somebody in real life who has like end stage, like liver cancer or whatever. It literally looks like this, except the eyes are yellow as well. It's super freaky. It's like The Simpsons, man, in real life. So I'm kind of concerned for Adam Warlock in this. Yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks because Jon Snow and Robb Stark, they're pretty damn similar, except maybe Robb Stark's a little bit more hot-headed, I guess.
Mhm.
And then Dickon's just kind of a Chad, man. I don't know. What's Dickon's family again, Don Boy? What house is Dickon?
Well, he's with Tarly.
Yeah, okay, Tarly. I was gonna say Tully, but it's
Is he a
Dickon's house.
Tarly?
Yeah, because it's
Yeah,
Sam's brother,
he's
right?
the brother. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
he's
like
well.
the
I mean, okay,
bad
real
brother.
quick too, because Joseph Dredd said it earlier in the dog eat dog world, you need a dad like that. Yeah, great pick for the dad saying like, yeah, Dickon should be my heir, not Sam plump triple wide Tarly. You know,
Dude, wide in the middle. Are you serious? Come on, man. You need that in your.
But
It
then
holds
Dickon
down.
takes a stand at the worst possible time. Literally.
well, he does, but I mean, like, come on, that's pretty honorable. Him and his dad, him and his daddy.
Hold
Chris,
on,
that's
we
like-
got.
I
a
wanna pass
super
it on
chat
to
from
you.
Pay at the pump. Kick Zax. Pay at the pump. Are you new here? We know
You
you're
can't
not.
do that.
You can't do that. But thanks for the money.
But what for? What for? What does that
Oh,
say?
it doesn't matter. Thanks for the cash, bro. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Nosferatu. Wait. I'm sorry. Sentient. I read Nosferatu's name. I meant to say it's Ariana Grande style brown face. Dude, Ariana Grande, come on, man. She can tan all she wants. It's no big deal. Who do you guys pick for this, though, actually? 'Cause it's actually kind of a tough one. We haven't seen the movie. This is a brand new movie. I assume Will Poulter is going to be your generic, like, I can do no wrong hero guy, right? So it could be any of these three. Maybe Jon Snow.
He looks like he has the High Evolutionary's cosmetic surgeon because they both have that stretched back face thing going.
They do, but
Mhm.
his does not look rock solid like a bottle cap, as Don so wisely pointed out.
Better or
Thank you.
worse?
I think I'll say worse because then I'm not racist if I say that.
Okay.
So I think maybe
True.
I'm changing my answer from Jon Snow to Dickon. I think Dickon's a little underappreciated, underrated in Game of Thrones. So I'll give him some love here.
Yeah, I think Dickon as well. Probably because he doesn't have probably gonna have much of an arc, and if he does have a little bit of an arc, then I guess he's more Jon Snow than Robb. Because I think Robb, his biggest downfall is his simp nature, even though he's intelligent. I don't know how much Adam Warlock is going to be doing here with love interest wise. So yeah, I think it's Dickon, but maybe Jon Snow.
I think it's Dickon, even though Jon Snow gets pretty cringe at the end. Dickon is I guess he's being loyal or I don't know, whatever to get cooked for no reason. That's the thing you could do. But then the actor also is in the Umbrella Academy, which is super cringe. And
Right.
so
Yeah, true.
I'm gonna go with him.
Well, isn't he also in Black Sails?
He's good in Black Sails.
Yeah,
Black
he's
Sails?
it's like a Treasure Island prequel. He's Billy Bones.
Yep, he's good in
He's
that.
great. Yeah. So
Billy Bones.
all right. Well, this is your. I didn't even want to put her in
Oh,
here.
Hold on, I'm sorry, real quick. AJ says that Rob was a simp. Yes, well, kind of. He was like an oath-breaking simp. He literally did the right thing, said, yes, I'm going to marry one of your freaky incest, like multi-generational inbred daughters in order to secure, like a
The twins,
strategic
yeah.
winning point in this war. And then he met some random hot nurse girl or whatever, and he said, like, screw the war, screw my oath. I'm going to follow my tip. Like, no, I don't think so, man. Yeah, that's total simp behavior, man. It's inexcusable.
I mean, but Jon Snow was a bigger simp for his aunt.
That's true. That's 100% true.
True.
But
Yeah,
he
that
did
is
kill
true.
his aunt, so I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's gonna be Dickon
think
at the end of the day.
Because he killed her because he couldn't have her, and so no one else could.
I think if you kill the person you're simping for, your simp card is revoked.
Yeah, it's an Uno reverse card.
Yeah, exactly. Just control Z.
Okay. You picked this one here. What's
What
her
did I pick?
name?
Oh, I put her in there. I think her name's Aisha, which is
Aisha.
like weird, like real life, the
Mhm.
ghetto name.
Right.
Well, you have an issue with this? You have an issue with me?
Well,
putting
I
her in
just
there?
don't
I'm trying
know
to think
why
of more
we had
characters.
to. Yeah, we were trying to think of more characters. Yeah, whatever. But Cersei, Melisandre, and Sansa. She kind of looks like Sophie Turner.
Yeah,
She
in this
does.
picture it does.
It could
Yeah.
be Sophie Turner.
She's insufferable, kind of like Sophie, or at least Sansa was at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy, or excuse me, Guardians of the Galaxy, Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I think it's definitely. I don't think it's Melisandre at all, but I do think. Well, there is an angle where it could be too, because I think these gold people, I think they live a super long time because they like genetically modified themselves to be perfect or whatever. Whoop.
Spoilers.
I don't know if I clicked that or what, but I think that this could be Cersei. I think that's my pick is Cersei because she's a bitch for sure. But I think it's because she feels like she has control and connection over to her offspring, which is Adam Warlock, and then she won't. Like he's going to go off and do his own thing, and I think that is much more related to Cersei. And it's hard for me to say who I hate more. I mean, it's kind of a different style hate between Sansa and Cersei, but I hate Aisha maybe more than either one of them. So I think my pick is Cersei right now.
And golden hair, golden skin. There you
go. All right.
And yes. So the gold is a big angle for Cersei because Lannisters are known for their gold from Casterly Rock, right? They're very wealthy, or at least they pretend to be at this point. And so gold skin, gold in the bank. I guess I'll go with Cersei because, I mean, everyone else is poor, right?
Yes. That is true.
Yeah, but I do like the Melisandre angle where she's able to,
like Fane being young.
Well, that, but also they make Adam Warlock similar to how she's going to bring back Jon Snow, and also makes that shadow demon thing from her crotch, which, listen, if you see that thing come out of it, do you ever put it in?
Dude, it's just this typical woman behavior.
That encourages
just
me.
ignore it.
Yeah, I'm done.
Oh.
Get in there.
I was going to say real quick, Nosferatu. Yeah, you know what? I smashed Lady Stoneheart and I passed Catelyn Stark. That's an easy answer.
Listen, if Lady Stoneheart still has the hole in the throat, yeah, I'm smashing.
Oh, dude, 100% true. IGP, is this Austin Powers? I love gold. Is that? Maybe. I don't know. Can I paint? What does he say for dicks? Like, can I paint?
Can I paint his Yoo-hoo gold?
Yeah, can I paint his Yoo-hoo gold? How about no? Dude,
do you remember how Sansa didn't earn her role as queen at all?
I know, she's just insufferable bitch until she got there.
Yeah. She's like, I want to be queen. Everyone's like, okay, that sounds fine.
I want to go to King's Landing. Dude, shut the fuck. Literally gets to go to King's Landing on request. He screws over everybody else along the way until finally, yes. Oh, yeah. Eventually, after making everybody else a victim, you become a victim to the people that you're trying to suck up to.
Yep.
You get graped a couple times, and then now you're super powerful. Like, come on.
Who
don't act
doesn't
like
get
you
graped?
suffered. Exactly. I've been graped hundreds, if not thousands of times.
Queen in the North.
The better question is, would you grape hot pie if you had the chance?
Pot pie?
Hot pie. Hot pie.
Oh, hot pie. Oh, hot. Dude, it wouldn't be grape. It'd be pretty consensual, I think.
Yeah, I think you'd like it. Yeah.
I think so, too.
I got soft hands.
Melisandre, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, footage.
Oh, shots fired there, Jana.
Yeah.
You're still listening.
Jana's still there.
Tanya.
Angry Canadian. The least angry person on the internet, and not even close to Canada anymore. An American who moved to Japan now has entered the chat. Thank you for being here, Angry Canadian.
Yes,
Smash that like
buddy.
button, please, and thank you. Okay, now Thanos, the Mannies, Thanos. I added Thanos, I added Stannis in here because he does give me a little bit of Stannis vibes. Especially in Endgame, Infinity War, not anything else, but Tywin and Dany here for the Destruction Gator.
Yeah,
Dany.
I mean, I don't know. Like the Daenerys one is really like loose. When I put that in there, I literally put like evil, I guess. And when I was thinking of this Thanos too, I was thinking of the Guardians of the Galaxy appearance where he's on the throne and he really has a different personality than he has later on or whatever. And so I was thinking Tywin because if Ronan is basically anybody in the Seven Kingdoms and he tries to go up to, let's just say Tywin sitting on the throne or even as the Hand, Tywin's going to put him in their place. You know what I mean? He's going to be like, listen, bitch, you can try to make the rules, but you're not making the rules. I make the rules. Like go back to your playpen. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I think my pick is Tywin, but I hear your point about Stannis for sure. And Daenerys, I just don't like Daenerys, and Thanos is evil. So that's the only reason I put her in there. What do you think, Zax?
I mean, if we're talking about this version of Thanos, especially Infinity War, then yeah, I would go with Tywin. You got to be careful though, because if you guys watched What If, there's also the this Sympto version of Thanos in that.
Yes.
Right, where he gets talked out of being evil by not Black Panther.
So cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
And that's more hot pie than Tywin, I would say at that point. But
that's super hot pie.
But if that's this, I'm going to go with Tywin because he's got a plan. He executes a plan. To him, the plan is effective. It works. He gets kind of it gets stolen from him unfairly by the end, his victory. And he was right.
Dude.
Well, I'm thinking a little bit of who's his name?
Who?
Goodness, my brain is just farting out
with
this
names
afternoon.
today,
I know. He's like Tywin because he has like such a bad relationship with his children, and I know they're kind of adoptive, Nebula and Gamora. But the way he I love kind of like how Tywin loves Jaime, but then Jaime wants nothing to do with his dad, and he hates Tyrion, and Tyrion's the most like him, and if he only was able to accept him and use him effectively, he would be way bigger of a threat to the realm. So that's why I think it's kind of like Thanos with his relationship with Nebula and Gamora.
Yeah, I already picked Tywin, but definitely you're just adding more fuel to the fire for that. I 100% agree with that. I think, Stannis, and this is a compliment to Thanos, I think, more than it's a compliment to Tywin, because, man, I love Tywin. I would have loved to see shaved head Tywin do, like we got in the books or whatever. I'm not going to pretend like I read the books, but I listened to the books, a lot of the parts of the books. And I would have loved to see a big, jacked, Thanos-esque Tywin. I already think of him that way. So
bald too, right?
Oh, yeah, bald. That's shaved head. Hey, real quick, Paid the Pump here is calling you out, Don Boy, for something, but I see that he said, hit take from Don.
Oh,
hit
cringe.
Take. Cringe. Thanks for the $10 Paid the Pump.
Stannis gives Stannis vibes. Did I say that?
I don't know. I didn't hear you say it, but if you did.
Okay.
But Stannis also sacrificed his kid in this show. And Thanos does. So there is that connection.
That is true.
Talking about Tyrion?
Stannis sacrifices his trying to think of her name, but the dragon scale little daughter
Waffle
in
face.
order.
Waffle face.
Right. Yeah, it's Waffle Face. That's true.
That's a great point with Stannis. Yeah,
that's a good point. So, Zach, are you picking Stannis?
No, I'm still gonna go with Tywin because I like Thanos more than I like Stannis.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it is definitely Tywin, but that's a good point about Stannis. And then meanwhile, Daenerys, we hate her. She looks nothing like Thanos. Or she acts nothing like Thanos.
And none of Stannis' plans work, and it's always his fault. So, I mean, Thanos, it doesn't work in the end, but it's not his fault.
But
I like Stannis. Stannis is just beginning a bad rap, though.
No, you know what? I'm thinking about it more. Maybe it is Stannis, because Stannis is like a simp for this powerful woman who can do weird shit with the dead.
Oh, like
Thanos is literally a simp for Lady Death. That is the only thing he cares about. Maybe Stannis is. I'm changing my pick to Stannis.
I think he might be the closest to Stannis.
I think
you're right. You're right about Death.
Yeah, it's Melisandre, right? And creates like Don Boy said earlier, that weird specter thing out of her Vabinks or Vajar Jar Binks. I think it's Stannis. I'm actually changing to Stannis.
And it's all for nothing. All of it's for nothing.
Yeah, Candizi, exactly. Stannis allowed us to die, so did Thanos.
Yeah.
Wow, this has been a trip, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
Zach,
what a roller coaster. Zach, you said you don't like Stannis though. What the hell's up with that?
Show Stannis.
Oh,
show Stannis. Okay.
That's still kind of cringe take, but I understand by the end.
Yeah, I like Stannis. He's we don't get much of. I guess that's true too. When it comes to the show, we don't get a lot of great Robert Baratheon moments compared to what we kind of think about him in, especially Robert's Rebellion. Which would you want a Robert's Rebellion? I think you have to wait a while for us to do a series on that, because it feels like we're still fresh off of Game of Thrones. I think if you do this House of the Dragon for a few more seasons, then you're going to do the Hedge Knight, then maybe even do one more like Aegon's Conquest or the Blackfire Rebellion, then go to Robert's Rebellion. What do you think?
I think they're doing Aegon's Conquest, are they not? Didn't they announce that?
No, they didn't officially announce it. There's just rumblings of it. And they're also supposed to be doing this. Okay, chat, let me know what you think. A Jon Snow spin-off series taking place after Game of Thrones. For some reason, we did a poll about it. A lot of people want this. I think we should do a video on it, just like basically ripping it apart, being like, no one wants this. No one wants this.
You know what? If it was a different, if they had a different ending on the show version of Jon Snow, then I could see that. But with what they did to him the last couple of seasons, who wants to see another season or two of that?
Right. Yeah, especially if it's going to be the same. Well, that's the thing is, whenever they divert away from the source material, but then again, it's Dan and Dave that were like
D&D.
the big D&D, that were the big influences on it. And now you have this, his name's not Ryan Kinnell, but it sounds like that. Ryan Kinnell. He's the big showrunner now on House of the Dragon. If they somehow get him over there or get his people over on that, then maybe it could be good. But I don't know where you take the story where it could be interesting. Even though I do like
Jon Snow.
even though I do like more character centric
No.
things. What are they going to do? Is it just going to be like another solo? Is it going to be kind of like the Mandalorian, where it's this single person going on a journey? Because that's what the Hedge Knight would probably be. And I think that works for that because that's what that story is. But this Jon Snow one, I don't know. I don't want to.
See, honest to God, I would have said no. But I actually do want a Jon Snow series now for one reason only. They can redeem the White Walker thing. That is my least favorite part about the Game of Thrones like conclusion thing, because the White Walkers were kind of a boring component of the show the whole time. Like me and Don have talked about this a lot. The political intrigue is what you watch Game of Thrones for. But at the same time, they're clearly building up this White Walker thing to be the climax of the show. So it has to surpass the impact of all the political stuff. And it just didn't. It fell so flat. Like there's really nothing I can even think of that's comparable of how badly that fell in like the light of all these other amazing things and amazing components of a show.
Yep.
They could make that a little bit worthwhile. It would be such a massive retcon where it's like either the Night King didn't really die, or that really wasn't the Night King, or there's somebody else even more powerful than the Night King. Or
It's
something
Super
like that.
Night King.
Yeah, exactly. Like Night King 5000 Turbo. Like maybe
It's turbo time.
Yeah, he has an Austrian accent for some reason, but I think
Yes.
that's the way it could be done. And if that was the angle they chose, I would want them to do it just because of that one component of Game of Thrones. I thought it was so bad, man. I was really looking forward to the White Walker conclusion in the end. I really was.
You know what? If they had done, what they do with Jon Snow is if they have him wake up from when he gets stabbed, and everything is different from there.
Amazing, actually.
And he's like, that was a bad dream. That was a horrible dream. I can't believe that happened.
Oh yeah,
I would never do that. Done.
That would be
that's
great.
actually a great idea. I would sign on for that.
Let's see Nosferatu. What does he say here? When I see,
you know what he said.
No, I
when
see.
When he says 20,000 people voting on Flaccid's dumb Game of Thrones polls, a small part of me dies inside. Well, we're hoping a bigger part of you dies next time because we're getting sick of you here, Nosferatu.
The Blackfire Rebellion, yeah, that'd be great to see. I think at least the first one. There's a lot of similar characters in there, kind of like Daemon, and there's some political intrigue especially with the people backing the Blackfire side of. Even though it's not a huge like split down the middle, it's still enough intrigue. And what would they do? Do you think I think we have to wait a couple years because if you get who's his name, Aegon the Unworthy, Aegon the Fourth, he's supposed to be dying under his own weight. It's like. They're not going to show that on screen.
They could.
Well, no, I just mean like with the positivity movement. They're not going to show a man like the whale just being like, I'm in the Seven Kingdoms. You know? Dude, but that'd be awesome. That guy's like 500 pounds. He's like, dude, I'm still laying it throughout the Seven Kingdoms. I'm still making offspring.
Right. Yeah, I mean, they could. I'm okay with anything like that, but in my opinion, it's kind of like Star Wars to me now. I think that they've tainted the main area of the the main heart of the timeline of this to such an extent that we need to see something so far distant from what we know that it can't really be influenced by it. Like, Joseph Dredd here says Robert's Rebellion. I don't want to see Robert's Rebellion because I think it's too close to home. I don't think we need to see
right
that
now
gap
though,
filled
right?
in. Well, right now, or unless they did a reboot or an animated series, that's totally different because then it's not necessarily.
But you'd rather see that over a Jon Snow show because that's what else is Joseph Dredd saying here. It's like I'd rather see that over.
No. I would rather see the Jon Snow show because I think that they could redeem. They have to. I don't trust them no matter what to do Robert's Rebellion correctly, dude. Robert, like 6'6", a hammer so big that Ned Stark could barely even lift it off the ground. This guy's swinging it above his head like one of those little whistly. Pipes he had as a kid, little things.
Can you imagine if you got an accurate depiction of it too? You said this monster of a man, Robert Baratheon.
Seriously, like the mountain is kind of closer to I feel like what Robert Baratheon is supposed to be.
What you do with the Robert's Rebellion stuff is you'd give hopefully, which I don't mind the method they're doing kind of with House of the Dragon. It's like I'm going to give you the prelude, so you'd get the whole. Well, I forgot what when Ares, the Mad King, he gets captured, right, by some person and holds him there for extended period of time. You basically see their relationship of Tywin and Ares, fracture a little bit. But you also get some Barristan the Bold because that's where he gets his name is when he rescues King Ares. Dude, you can get some awesome moments in there too before Robert's Rebellion and just see it lead up to it. I guess I think that would be cool to see if you're going to do it.
The big issue with Robert's Rebellion I have too is that like even when we gave them full credit for being great showrunners and they had this source material and it was fantastic, they cast for Robert Baratheon, they cast the fat guy from the Full Monty. That's the guy they thought.
Hey, still standing too, right?
I mean,
Oh man, underrated, man.
so I don't know if I can trust them telling that story at all. I do like the idea of what they're doing now with the Dunk and Egg and the Hedge Knight stuff because it's a smaller story to start with, and then
Yes.
it goes out from there. And I think that's the best way to do this. I don't need to see another global, political powers, especially when we know the ending of this, but we just finished seeing the ending of Robert's Rebellion and how it goes. So I would rather go away from that to a different time and start with a smaller story that builds out. That's what I would do.
I think the other two productions they have, or like kind of stories they have in development right now, is was it 1,000 ships or 10,000 ships? It's basically how the Martells came over. Was it Nymeria came over, right, into Dorne? That's one of them. And then the other one is a sand snake, which could be good, even though I'm not a huge fan of the whatever, because even it doesn't bother me too much about the casting of his skin, with Corlys. It's mostly I just don't think of him as that. The actor as that. I don't know. He just doesn't speak Corlys to me.
You said
like I want like way more Giga
like,
Chad. Yeah, Corlys Valerian.
Sea snake. Okay, yeah. You said sand snake. I was like,
did I say sand snake? Excuse me.
Yeah, you
sea
thought
snake.
You were like, I'm
yes.
excited for this.
Sorry.
No
so
way.
The sea snake series could be good too, kind of like what Zach is saying. Is like it's not political intrigue. It's like about a voyage, the 9 voyages he went on. I think they're 9, right? Or how many were there?
Yeah, it was 9 voyages. But see, I totally agree with you, man. I don't care if they cast him as black, or whatever. It's fun to make fun of or whatever and point out. But the only thing it does is make King V look stupider. But I think yeah, because dude, he's seen like so many of these parts of the Game of Thrones universe that we've never seen before. Like there's 2 other continents that we've never seen. I want to see some of that shit. And yeah, they could do that with the sea snake or whatever. But kind of like you were saying, we kind of know him a little too well now, I think, in the context he's in. I don't know if they can really do an impactful story about his ventures in the past, unless I guess they recast him. But then it doesn't really feel like that impactful. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. I would like to see other areas in the world, though. That'd be sweet, dude.
But then how do you tell that story? Because if you do that, then George is going to be all over it, and he's never going to finish his fucking books. Because I could help you expand that part of the world, you motherfucker.
Yeah, true. And I wonder how that's all going to go, by the way, when he dies, too. Because, I mean, listen, this guy clearly does not take that great care of himself and whatever. I hope The Winds of Winter comes out and stuff. And if he never finishes the mainline story, I hope that no one ever comes in and tries to fill in the gap. I hope they just kind of leave it ambiguous. But I think that other expanded universe stuff, like the Corlys thing, I hope that people do end up making series of that. And this is an example of something, because I think, this is my own feelings. Sorry if I'm going off on a tangent about this, but if like the original creator of something dies, and this would be like same with Dragon Ball, like Akira Toriyama, if he died, anything made by somebody else, if I like it, I can accept it as my like canon or whatever. But if I hate it, I can easily dismiss it, and no one can tell me. No one can tell me
right.
like
just like Star Wars,
thing.
Right?
No, it's not.
Like with Star Wars, it's like, oh yeah, I'm a big fan of George Lucas Star Wars. Anything he touched, like that's what I'll accept as canon. But old Disney now is kind of like just hand waved, and it's very easy for me to do. But if it was made by George,
now it's like
then you have to do a lot of like mental gymnastics in it.
That's
and
exactly
I wonder,
right. Yeah.
And I wonder if George R. R. Martin doesn't want to finish it too, because also there's like this hunger for everyone to like, come on, George, finish it. He's like, yeah, maybe. Oh, maybe. It's like a little attention thing.
It's been done for 6 years,
I don't know. Maybe I should. Well, here's a little preview chapter. If you just when you're like, okay, it's not coming out. And he's like, here's a preview chapter. You're like, oh, fuck, I'll just read it real quick. I'll just read it real quick, and then I'm not listening anymore. What you have to say,
dude.
George.
By the way, the preview chapter that he did for Winds of Winter, it has me fucking hyped, dude.
What was the?
I think it was Euron, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, dude.
I think what people don't understand about the books too is that Jon Snow is still lying in a pool of his own blood.
And piss. Books. And probably feces.
Probably some feces and probably some snow.
Everybody's rubbing their bare feet in it too.
That's how far everything else is just made up.
It's a little bit warmer than the air.
It's all just fan fiction.
It's weird too, because like as soon as Dan and Dave went off on their own, right, you can just see how the show just crumbles. But they were crumbling before that too, because they couldn't really properly set up anything. With like the whole Dorne storyline was just such a shit show. And I know the Dorne they have like a whole other aspect of them about how who's his name? I'm trying to think of his name. He's the Oberyn's older brother, right? He was described as the grass that would hide the snake, because Oberyn is the Red Viper. He has all these workings behind the scenes. He's a major player in all of this, and all of a sudden they just make him basically the most useless Professor X guy in all of Westeros.
Yeah, I know. Well, the wheelchair is
Such
pretty
a beta.
cool. Let's just say that. But again, Dorne is another. Dorne is another thing where it's like, dude, this was the one kingdom to resist Aegon the Conqueror.
Yeah,
Are you
true.
kidding me, man? Like this, they should be portraying them as super badass, not like these. At least the way I viewed it in the show, it's kind of like they're not really primitive, but it almost seems like Westeros is like kind of appeasing their primitive nature compared to them, and they're just kind of a band of random mercenaries. Like they don't come off as threatening at all. Like the Red Viper definitely did, but he still dies in his first fight.
Yep.
Like it just doesn't come off that intimidating to me. And the Sand Snakes, again, that just comes off like 3 random mercenaries who have like an interesting fighting style. It doesn't translate to me to like this intimidating kingdom, and I think it should.
I think Aegon trying to take down Dorne would be an interesting show, or at least a season of television. Just tell that story.
Yeah,
I think so too. But the thing would be especially is if we get season 1, let's say, or whatever, of this Aegon show, and he's like this amazing badass, like great conqueror, great military strategist, and then we see season 2, he goes to Dorne and he's unable to take Dorne. That really puts Dorne over in like a big way. You know what I mean? And now we think so highly of it. I'm not sure that would change how I view it. Going back to Game of Thrones for like a rewatch, but I don't know. I think that's a good way to go. I'd like to see Dorne.
Yep.
I wonder if they'll make her. What was her name? It's supposed to be like the Toad of Dorne. The lady that's ruling it. She's just this nasty looking Dornish lady. And you're just like, you really want to take us? Like we will never. Which it's also just I'm flabbergasted how the ins and outs of the Dorne cities work. Because who's her name? It's not. Is it Rhaenys or is it Visenya that goes down there with her dragon? She's like looking at everyone. There's nobody in the city here. There's nobody in the city here. And you're like, what the hell's going on? Where'd they all go? How are they all just to hide from the dragon? And I still am confused a little bit of how the logistics of like them not being able to occupy Dorne is. Because you'd think if they all just hide, then just occupy the city. But I think it's like a bottleneck going down to Dorne or something.
Well, they hid in the caves and stuff, did they not? In the mountains?
Yeah. Right. Well, yeah, and I'm just wondering, like, maybe it's the same logic we get with Daemon with the crab feeder, and then all of a sudden they're hiding in the caves, and the dragons just can't go in there. The fire doesn't go as far deep into the cave for them.
But they need to me that didn't come off, and that's a big thing about House of the Dragon, though, that I was disappointed in a little bit in hindsight, because that was supposed to be such a major event. Look, I mean, I don't care so much because that show to me like was done so well anyway. But if I could change one thing about House of the Dragon, it probably would be to really emphasize that more, because it can only make Daemon seem more impressive, I think, right? And also build up what's his name, the crab feeder, a little bit too. But Dorne, that's the other thing too. We don't know about this place. Maybe it's just too difficult for the showrunners, so they don't want to do something like that. But what could they really do? It's kind of a rock and a hard place situation, because if you send Aegon the Conqueror over there only to fail, you have to have a good reason why he's going to fail. If they just have a standard military Dorne, and for some reason Aegon just can't penetrate the defenses or whatever, for whatever reason he can't capture this place, and it doesn't make sense with how competent he seems in the first season, that's a fail. So it's actually kind of a big task to have.
Well, I mean, they could try. Yes, you're right, but they could try to make it have similar play out to the crab feeder. And they go hide in the mountain. For some reason in this world, Dragonfire doesn't kill or doesn't melt mountains. And
not this time anyway.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, but like you see it, it's just funny how you get at Harrenhal, Aegon just like melts it. Right. He's like, oh, yeah, too bad about this whole place you got here. Yeah. And then when they go down to Dorne, I don't know if they ever try to like use Dragonfire, just destroy the city then. Just get all 3 dragons down there. But then again, they shoot down one of them. I don't know if it's Visenya. It might have been Visenya or Rhaenys. I don't remember. It's escaping me. One of the sisters.
I don't remember either, dude.
But
what would you guys rather have? This is sort of a side note, but if you're going to have a show continue on after the series we've already seen, would you prefer it be Jon Snow or Arya that they follow? Because it's going to be one of those two.
Not Arya, dude. Not Arya.
I'm okay. Sorry,
Yeah.
go.
No, I was gonna say I don't like Arya as like a character that much. I don't feel her as that compelling. She's great in an ensemble, like another flavor, but it's just like salt. It's like I wouldn't have a dish of salt, right? You have to add a lot more in there for me to be interested for Arya. But at least she's going somewhere interesting. She's going west, something we've never seen before. Jon Snow's heading north. Nothing's up north.
Okay, that's true. That is definitely true. You're right. Okay, I'd still rather see the Jon Snow thing because I do want to see the White Walker thing pay off a little bit and not just accept that I watched 8 seasons of something totally inconsequential. But the Arya thing, yeah, it is interesting going west. I know there are like some really small islands way out in the west that we know of from the books, but yeah, I guess to see what's beyond that would be pretty cool. I'm not that like. I think that the faceless men thing is another example of something that they kind of built up to be like this really intriguing, interesting thing, and then it just turned out to be something super shallow. Like, yeah, you know what, we can just wear anybody's face we want, and that's kind of it. You know what I mean? So I don't know really what they could do. Like maybe give her like a love interest, and she has to join a pirate crew or whatever. I guess maybe my brain's just not working enough to tell me what could be something interesting, but I'm not sure what there is to work with. Just Arya. I think Dawn nailed it. She's great in an ensemble. I'm not sure she could lead her own thing.
I think that's fair. I think I agree with you guys on all of that. Really, I think I'd like to see her character is not that interesting on her own, but the world would be fun to see. And Jon Snow is just going to be more in the north, and in the north they're just putting on more clothes, not less. And so I'm kind of against that. You know, it'd be fun show. The Littlefinger show.
Get him in the cave constantly. Oh, Littlefinger show. Okay.
Yeah, where he builds his whole empire.
Dude, yeah, that's fine with me. Boys on boys on boys.
One last thing I want to say too is they were thinking about doing someplace it's like the Five Kingdoms in the Far East or something. I think it's called. Well, it's called like the Five Kingdoms, but in the Far East they have like a kind of like a Chinese area within Essos, and they were thinking about doing an animated series about that too. I wouldn't mind that as long as it's like, you know, the same level of storytelling we're getting out of, you know. Game of Thrones, kind of like because Azor Ahai, right? That's from Essos as well. Yes, that's not a Westeros thing, but it's brought over here because of the other religions. That tale. So yeah, I think could be cool. I think you could delve into like really weird pockets of the universe as long as, again, you just gotta have talented people on there because I think you could make. We saw it with the amazing script, or you want to say story beats and setup for end of Game of Thrones, and they just shit the bed with it. So. I think the most important thing is to get talent on, and you can make probably the most boring show. You can make basically an Arya show. My favorite show is if you got the right talent, I think.
Well, I mean, dude, House of the Dragon.
Thank you. Setya Dodo, Yiti. That's the place. Yep. No, that's the place.
No, it is. I know it is. It just sounds so Asian. It does. Like, Yiti. But, you know, if you told me House of the Dragon, like mid Game of Thrones, like, hey, there's going to be a show coming out about the Targaryen family kind of mid-reign, you know, not really at the beginning, not really at the end, just kind of mid-reign. I wouldn't want it. Like, I'd want something much more consequential, like the origin of the Children of the Forest, the First Men, or Aegon the Conqueror coming over, or something like that. But now, like, seeing what they can actually accomplish, yeah, you're 100% right, Tomboy.
Did you see AJ's comment there? He's angling for it already. Pirate crew with her wolf.
Yeah, I saw this right here.
Probably named Adolf.
Yeah.
Who's his name? I think Snow lived, didn't he? The direwolf, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think he's the only one that. Well, I guess Nymeria also lives. She's in the
somewhere.
Riverlands or wherever they left her.
But I'm with Boosh on that. He's talking about like I didn't hate Arya. I didn't dislike her until they made her kill the Night King, and then the rest of that season did what it did, and she didn't actually go and use her faceless powers to do anything useful after that. She was pretty badass up until that point. Even in that same siege where she's, you know, fighting the walkers, she was kicking ass, and I was okay with it. But then the out of nowhere White Walker Night King thing, that really hurt her character for a lot of people.
Yeah, because she didn't need that moment though, right? Like she overcame so much that it's like, hey, let somebody else have this moment. Mostly Jon Snow, I think. That's what everyone wanted to see. And it's like, it subverted your expectations. I'm like,
Arya also she didn't contribute to it. Like, I understand she had a plot, but she did not contribute whatsoever to the buildup of the White Walkers and the Night King. She had no stake in the fight, really.
No.
At least I wouldn't say that she did. except the fact that she came from Winterfell and the fight happened to be happening at Winterfell. So, I think it was just bad. It sucks that she had to wrap up that arc the way she did. It was super anticlimactic, and not to wrap the stream up on an anticlimactic note, but I think we're about to get out of here.
Yeah, we are. So, Zach, what do you have coming out this week?
I'm working on some clips right now for from previous shows, and 9 p.m. Central on Wednesday, my channel. What's good? And I think Dawn is going to be there, and the rest of it's going to be a surprise.
Oh, a surprise for me. We just had a video come out a little bit ago, I think a couple days ago. The shocking House of the Dragon casting news that we got with Alice Rivers, which is yikes. Yeah, woof.
Woofity woof. AJ might like it.
It's a very Dylan Mulvaney-esque looking Alice
God.
Rivers we're getting here. But anyways, yeah, go check out that video. We just talk about the 4 castings, which are pretty good castings, except for other than her. And we're going to be coming out with a Aegon fan casting. We're going to go through a list of actors we think who could actually crush the role. And some we have a couple unknowns, I think, that could that look the part.
Ooh.
So... if you haven't already, go sub to Zax's channel, sub to our channel maybe if you like it. What were we gonna say there, Gator?
I was gonna say Nosferatu. It's such a genuine comment. Thanks, guys. Fun times as always. Thanks, Nosferatu. We appreciate you.
Shut up,
man.
that guy, Nosferatu.
No, I appreciate him so much.
You know what?
Let's kiss.
You know what? I appreciate Nosferatu not bringing up Eastern Promises on this live stream. So thank you.
Now you've done it.
I know. So, yeah, we're gonna probably be coming out with more Game of Thrones stuff too, because we have this huge.
We do. Our audience is for Game of Thrones. Okay, our audience on our channel, our subscribers, is for Game of Thrones. We love you guys as our like stream crowd or whatever. But we're gonna try to migrate that over to Fanarchy. I mean, we'll still do these types of theme streams here on Flaccid Phoenix, but as far as like the premature ejection stuff like that, that's gonna migrate over to Fanarchy. And for the algorithm's sake, we're gonna keep all of our fantasy stuff on this channel. So yeah, look forward to that in the future.
So, anything else you guys got to say before we head out?
Nope.
No,
Beat it.
Nice.
Not even
Sweet.
one thing.
Hey, thank you all for being here. Be sure to smash the like button if you haven't already, and we will see you next week for premature ejection.
Wait.
What?
Uh-oh.
Leave a comment on this video when it's done.
Oh yes, dude. It's actually so easy. Just make the most nonsensical. Say something about like your day. Be like, dude, today it was a nasty day outside, and I wasn't a fan of the weather. And I'm like, cool, thank you. It
Yes.
helps
Everybody
the
say your
algorithm.
favorite racial slur, but censor it.
Yeah. Replace him. We'll try to guess it in the comment below that one. So, thank you all for being here, and we'll see you next week.